older people, they are pretty good about maintaining things. They're just usually outdated. That's my experience, typically. Noah has found a wheelchair over there. And
can I have the log splitter right there?
what?
Can I have this log splitter?
Yeah.
It works.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's nice. I love the tile, man.
Streaks, dude,
I love that, yes.
That looks really good.
Yeah. What do you think this house should pull on the market?
225, 230.
Okay.
Ryan was actually trying to convince me to keep it as a rental, but
What do you think it would pull?
probably, what do you think, 1,300, 1,400 bucks a month?
I'm not great at that. I don't know. What do you think it'd pull?
I mean, I do Airbnb. You get like $4,000.
Okay, so you have parking in the back or no?
You could.
The multifamily in the back worries me. Maybe if you had the opportunity to buy it and keep it.
For a reason.
I mean, hold on to it for a while.
Yeah. Well, so I blew the budget. So here's what happened that I didn't realize, and I've never run into this before.
Okay.
This house didn't have a crawl space. So the floor joists were this far off the ground.
Yeah. So you couldn't get a wood infestation report or termite bond
Or
and you
plumbing. So what I did was I dug it out.
Floor joists were sitting on the ground, which means you could do your heating and air in the attic. You could wire it from the top, but you can't do plumbing in the attic. You have to do it underneath. So is this new? So it was just like this everywhere.
It was like this, and I want to show you the neighbors to show what it was. This is what it used to be. So it's about maybe 8 inches. Then there's not really much you can do. So that's really problematic on the resale side.
Even if you could work around the plumbing issue, you still cannot get a termite bond if those joists are sitting on the ground. That's going to create problems, and that's also going to create problems with moisture because you can't get a vapor barrier on the ground up under the floor joists, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that is something that somebody would really need to look at. So how would you have caught that pre-buying it if you had to do it over again? I guess if you had a wood infestation report, you could have caught it.
Oh, I could have just seen it with my eyes.
Okay.
I just was.
Sometimes once you buy so many properties, you start to get not lazy, you just start to kind of have this attitude where, hey, if it's got a problem, I'll just address it. But a person who has less experience and less resources might need to get home inspections and things like that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so a home inspection would have caught that. Or a wood infestation report.
Spending an extra 2 minutes here.
Right. This is an area that a lot of people have been talking about for like 4 or 5 years about investing in, because this is the next spot that's in between Avondale and Crestwood. And if you stay on this side of the tracks, I think it makes sense.
Just give you an idea how much this has grown. Like Joe, before we got our first quadplex, there was a row of quadplex. It was 4 1-bedroom, 1 bath, and it would hit the mark for like 150. 3 years later, we know the person that bought them, and she sold them for like 450,000. So
yeah,
in the course of like 3 years.
There's going to be a lot of that in the past 4 or 5 years because of all the appreciation.
I know, it's just crazy,
and
especially this area.
Yeah.
And there's a junkyard behind it.
But you could have done that in anything that you've held. Anything that you've sold in the past 5 years, you would have done much better if you had kept it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I guess the moral of the story is flip and own, right?
Right. While we're here, we might as well go buy this house and make a quick plan, because my buyer's not meeting us at this other house till 12. These storm windows are gonna come off. Probably do it almost identical to the other house. I think, like Ross's house, take this down, and we'll probably take this down also. Close this window up, like here, and just have one wall of cabinets and then a big island. What you think? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I met a realtor here, the realtor on Kanawha. She called me with another lead and came here and looked at the house with the guy's parents. And the parents were in their late 80s, early 90s, and they were moving out. I'm hoping we can keep this deck. I feel like we probably can and just redo the handrails if we have to. We can look underneath it, but these storm windows have to come off. And I want to keep this siding if we can, just fix it and paint it, you know? What's happening there? It's almost like,
Dryer vent.
yeah, and I think they were getting some water yeah.
Dryer vent.
We'll just relocate that. We're gonna do different lights at Sagewood on the foyer and the front porch. Are those already hung?
No, they're not hung.
Okay, call him and tell him just to put LED flats there and take those back. The buyer's buying her own.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Talking about Miller Circle?
Yes. Tell him that this is the next house so he can start bringing his tools over here. We got to get him out of that house. One benefit of me buying a house, and even other investors, I'm sure, is that they can kind of just walk away from whatever they don't want. Because, you know, a lot of times these people have been living in this house for 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50 years, and they've accumulated a lot of stuff. And it seems overwhelming. So I think that when a person like me can come in and just buy it and say, listen, just take what you want, and then we can kind of handle the rest. And then what it also does is it gives Love Lady Center or whatever charity you want to give it to, items to kind of put in their thrift stores to sell. And yeah, it helps a lot of people.